My fiancée called me at 8:47 p.m., her voice light, almost playful. "I'm with my ex tonight, so don't be jealous." I didn't say anything for a moment. Then I opened my camera roll, found a video I'd been saving for exactly a moment like this one, and sent it to her without a single word of explanation. She called me 21 times over the next hour. I didn't answer once. Everyone watching this video, if you enjoy real emotional stories like this one, please hit that like button and subscribe right now. It genuinely helps this small channel keep telling these stories every single week. Love you all. Now let's get into what actually happened that night, because it's a lot more complicated than one text message and one video. My name is Ethan Cole. I'm 31, living in Denver, Colorado, engaged to Bianca for a year and a half with a wedding date set for October, still 6 weeks away at the time. We'd been together 3 years total, and until that Tuesday night, I genuinely believed I understood the shape of our relationship completely. Bianca's ex, a man named Trent, had come up exactly twice in 3 years of dating. Both times briefly, both times dismissed with the same explanation. We dated in college, it ended badly, we don't talk anymore. I never pushed for more detail because it never seemed relevant to us, so when she called that night, casual tone, telling me she was grabbing drinks with Trent for old time's sake, and instructing me not to be jealous, something in my chest tightened immediately. Not because of jealousy exactly, because of the casual way she delivered it, like she was testing how I'd react. I didn't argue, I didn't ask questions. Instead, I opened a video I'd received 2 weeks earlier from an unknown number, one I'd saved but never mentioned to anyone, and I sent it to her with no caption at all. Within 90 seconds, my phone started ringing. I let it ring. Once, twice, 3 times. I set the phone face down on my kitchen counter and made myself dinner while it buzzed against the granite over and over. 21 times total by the time I finally checked it again, nearly an hour later. Here's what I hadn't told anyone. Not my friends, not my family, not even Bianca herself. 2 weeks before that phone call, I'd received an anonymous video sent to my phone from a number with no name attached, no explanation, nothing. The video showed Bianca sitting in a car outside an apartment building I didn't recognize, crying, while a man I now knew was Trent leaned through her open window, his hand resting on her arm in a way that felt intimate, in a manner friendship doesn't usually look like. I'd spent 2 weeks trying to decide what to do with that video. Confront her immediately? Ignore it as an out-of-context misunderstanding? Hire someone to investigate further before accusing my fiancé of something based on 30 seconds of unclear footage? I'd chosen, ultimately, to wait, to watch, to see if anything in our relationship shifted in a way that would explain what I'd seen. And then, Bianca called me, casually announcing plans with the exact man from that video, telling me not to be jealous, as if daring me to already know something I wasn't supposed to know yet. An hour after I sent that video without explanation, after 21 unanswered calls, someone knocked on my front door. I opened it, expecting Bianca, tears already forming, ready for an explanation. Instead, standing on my porch alone, was Trent. "We need to talk," he said, "before Bianca gets here and makes this so much worse than it needs to be." I stood in my doorway, arms crossed, studying a man I'd never actually met in person despite 3 years of dating his ex. "Why would I talk to you before talking to my own fiancé?" "Because that video you sent her," Trent said, "you didn't film that. Someone else did. And I think I know exactly who and exactly why." I let him in, mostly because I needed answers more than I needed to maintain the moral high ground of refusing to speak with him. He sat stiffly on my living room couch, running his hands through his hair, clearly rehearsing something in his mind before speaking. "That video," he said, "it's from 3 weeks ago. Bianca called me, genuinely distressed, asking to meet in person because she just found out something devastating about her father's health, stage 4 cancer, recently diagnosed, and she didn't know how to process it or how to tell you yet. I'm not her secret boyfriend, Ethan. I'm someone she still trusts enough to fall apart in front of without performing strength the way she does for everyone else in her life, including you, apparently." I felt my chest tighten in an entirely new way. "Bianca's father is sick? Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Trent confirmed, diagnosed 6 weeks ago. She's been trying to figure out how to tell you without derailing wedding planning completely, without making the next 6 weeks of your engagement feel overshadowed by grief she hasn't fully processed herself yet." I sat down slowly across from him, the entire framework of the last 2 weeks shifting beneath me. Then, why would someone film that private moment and send it to me anonymously? I asked. "Who would do that?" Trent's jaw tightened. "I have a theory, but you're not going to like it." Before he could elaborate, my phone rang again. Bianca calling for the 22nd time that night. This time, I answered. "Ethan," she said immediately, breathless, clearly having been crying for a while. "Please, whatever you think that video means, please let me explain before you decide anything." "Trent is actually here," I said. "Sitting in my living room right now." Silence stretched on the line for several seconds. "He's there? Why would he go there instead of waiting for me?" "Because he says someone filmed you two without your knowledge 3 weeks ago," I said, "and sent it to me anonymously. He also just told me about your father." I heard Bianca's breath catch audibly. "He told you about my dad?" "I need you to come here," I said. "Right now. Whatever this is, I need the full truth, not pieces of it filtered through someone else." She arrived 14 minutes later, mascara completely destroyed, hands shaking as she walked through my front door and saw Trent sitting on my couch. "You shouldn't have come here," she said to him, voice sharp with something between anger and fear. "Someone needed to explain what's actually happening," Trent said, before Ethan spent the whole night assuming the worst based on a video neither of us consented to being filmed. Bianca sat down heavily in the armchair across from both of us, burying her face in her hands for a long moment before finally looking up at me. "Everything Trent told you about my father is true," she said. "Stage 4, the doctors are giving him maybe 8 months, possibly less. I found out 6 weeks ago and I have been absolutely drowning trying to figure out how to tell you without ruining our wedding excitement, without making you feel like you have to choose between celebrating our engagement and supporting me through something devastating. Bianca, that's not a choice," I said. "You should have told me immediately. We're supposed to be building a life together. This is exactly the kind of thing partners share." "I know that now," she said, tears falling freely. "But 3 weeks ago, I was drowning and Trent was the only person who understood what it actually feels like to lose a parent slowly like this. His mother died of the same cancer 4 years ago. I called him because he's the only person in my life who's actually walked through this specific kind of grief, and I broke down completely in my car outside his apartment because I couldn't hold myself together in front of you without you immediately trying to fix something that can't be fixed." I felt something complicated settle in my chest. Relief and hurt tangled together in a way I didn't fully know how to separate yet. "Someone filmed that moment," I said. "Without either of your knowledge. Who would do that and why send it to me?" Bianca and Trent exchanged a look, something unspoken passing between them. "I think it was my sister Alicia," Bianca finally said, voice barely above a whisper. I stared at her. "Your sister filmed you having a breakdown outside your ex-boyfriend's apartment and sent it to me anonymously? Why would she do that?" "Because Alicia has never liked you," Bianca said. "Not because of anything you've done, because our mother constantly compares Alicia's marriage, which is falling apart, to what she sees as my perfect relationship with you. Alicia's husband has been having an affair for the better part of a year, something our whole family knows and dances around at every holiday dinner. I think seeing me build something stable while her own marriage crumbles has created resentment I never fully understood until recently." I sat back, trying to process an entirely new layer to this story. "So, your sister is jealous of our relationship and she decided to sabotage it by making it look like you were having an affair?" "I think so," Bianca said. "I don't have proof yet, but she's the only person who knew I was meeting Trent that day, and she's the only person with a motive to want our engagement to fall apart before the wedding." Trent cleared his throat. "There's something else you both should know. Alicia texted me 2 days ago out of nowhere, asking if I still had feelings for Bianca. I found it strange at the time, but I brushed it off as random curiosity. Looking back now, I think she was testing the waters, trying to gauge whether I'd be willing to help create exactly the kind of confusion that happened tonight." Bianca's face went pale. "She's been planning this." I picked up my phone, scrolling back to the original anonymous video, checking the metadata more carefully than I had 2 weeks earlier when I'd first received it, too shocked at the time to analyze it properly. The video had been sent from a number I didn't recognize, but buried in the video file's metadata was a location tag, automatically embedded by whatever phone had recorded it. A location that matched almost exactly an address I vaguely remembered visiting once during a family gathering 18 months earlier. "This was filmed from Alicia's apartment building," I said slowly, showing them both the location data. "Not from a random passerby's phone. Someone standing at her building, likely her own balcony based on the angle, filmed you both without knowledge and sent it directly to me specifically to cause this exact confrontation." The room fell silent except for the sound of Bianca's shaky breathing. "I need to call her," Bianca said finally. Right now. I need to hear this from her directly. She dialed her sister on speakerphone, hands trembling so badly she nearly dropped the phone twice before the call connected. Bianca? Alicia's voice came through, falsely casual. It's late. Is everything okay? Did you film me and Trent 3 weeks ago? Bianca asked, voice steadier than I expected. Did you send that video to Ethan anonymously? Long silence stretched on the line. I don't know what you're talking about, Alicia finally said, voice tight. The metadata puts the video's location at your apartment building, I said, speaking up for the first time. This is Ethan. I'd like an honest answer, please. More silence. Then, quietly, almost inaudibly, I saw you two together and I panicked. I don't know what I thought. I thought maybe if Ethan saw something confusing, he'd ask questions, and you'd finally have to actually talk about Dad's diagnosis instead of pretending everything is fine while planning centerpiece arrangements. That's not your decision to make, Bianca said, her voice cracking. You don't get to manipulate my relationship because you think I'm handling grief wrong. I watched you smile through cake tastings for 3 weeks while Dad is dying, Alicia said, her own voice breaking now. I couldn't understand how you were functioning normally, and it made me furious, watching you build this perfect future while our family is falling apart. I wanted you to actually feel something real instead of performing happiness for wedding planning. The raw honesty in that confession landed heavily across the room. Bianca sat frozen, processing her sister's twisted logic, some strange combination of genuine grief and misdirected resentment. You could have just talked to me, Bianca said finally, tears falling again. Different tears than before, grief-soaked rather than fear-soaked. Instead of trying to sabotage my engagement, you could have told me you were struggling too. I know that now, Alicia whispered. I'm sorry. I genuinely am. I wasn't thinking clearly. Watching Dad get sicker every week has been breaking something in me, and I took it out on the wrong person in the worst possible way. The call ended a few minutes later. No resolution reached that night, just raw honesty finally surfacing after weeks of manipulation and misplaced anger. Trent stood up quietly. I should go. This is a family matter now, not something I need to be part of anymore. Before he left, he turned back toward me. For what it's worth, Bianca talks about you constantly. Even when she was breaking down in my car that day, most of what she said was about not wanting to burden you, not wanting to disappoint you, not wanting the man she loves to see her as anything less than put together. Whatever resentment my presence in her life sparked in Alicia, it was never about anything happening between me and Bianca romantically. That ended cleanly years ago. He left, and Bianca and I sat together in silence for a long time afterward, the weight of everything settling slowly around us. I should have told you about my dad the moment I found out, she finally said. I was so scared that grief would somehow overshadow our engagement, that you'd start seeing our wedding as something happening in the shadow of loss instead of something worth celebrating fully. Bianca, that's not how partnership works. I said, you don't get to protect me from your pain by hiding it. That just leaves you carrying everything alone, which is exactly what happened tonight. She nodded slowly, exhaustion evident in every line of her face. I need to see him. Soon. Properly. Not just phone calls where I pretend everything's fine. Then we'll go together, I said. This weekend, if you want. You shouldn't carry any of this by yourself anymore, including telling him about the wedding, including whatever conversations you need to have with your family about how everyone's handling this. The following weekend, we drove 3 hours to see Bianca's father, sitting with him for an entire afternoon while he talked openly about his diagnosis, his fears, his hopes for walking his daughter down the aisle if his health allowed it, his complicated feelings about Alicia's struggling marriage happening simultaneously with his own declining health. Alicia joined partway through that visit, awkward and tearful, offering Bianca a genuine apology in person that felt different from the rushed phone confession days earlier. The two sisters didn't fully repair their relationship that day, but something honest finally opened between them. Years of unspoken resentment and comparison finally addressed directly instead of festering beneath surface-level family gatherings. Bianca's father passed away 4 months later, 2 months after our wedding, which we moved up slightly so he could attend while still strong enough to walk her partway down the aisle before handing her off to me for the remainder of the ceremony. Tears streaming down every face in that room. Alicia's marriage ended around the same time, her husband's affair finally becoming undeniable even to family members who'd spent years pretending not to notice. Bianca and Alicia grew closer through that shared grief, ironically finding the honest connection that manipulation and jealousy had prevented for years finally emerging through shared loss. As for that anonymous video, we never spoke of it publicly, understanding it as the desperate, misguided action of someone drowning in grief and resentment she didn't know how to process healthily. Forgiveness came slowly, imperfectly, but it came. I think about that night often. The 21 unanswered calls, the video I sent without explanation, the entire cascade of truth that followed, from one moment of instinct rather than immediate accusation. If I had confronted Bianca the moment I received that anonymous video 2 weeks earlier, without waiting, without giving her room to potentially explain in her own time, I wonder if we would have found our way to the truth as gently as we eventually did. If you've ever received information about someone you love that seemed to confirm your worst fears, I hope this story reminds you of something important. Context changes everything, and the space between reacting instantly and seeking full understanding first can be the difference between destroying something real and actually protecting it. Sometimes the people closest to us are drowning in ways we can't see from the outside, and sometimes the family members causing the most damage are simply drowning even more visibly than the people they're hurting. Grief makes people do things they wouldn't otherwise recognize in themselves, and healing, real healing, requires the courage to seek truth before assuming the worst. Even when every instinct pushes you toward immediate judgment instead of patient understanding,